To all the students in the work study. The topic is taken from Unit 3 and for the subject RS 6U1 Industrial Management. In this presentation, I'm going to cover the topics that are Introduction to Work Study, Objective of Work Study, Basic Procedures of Work Study, Benefits to apply the work study as a technique in the operational plant, manufacturing plant, and number of techniques that comes under the term work study, including method study, work measurement, time study, motion study, etc. To start with the presentation, first question arises: why work study is needed in the organization? Work study is a tool which is used to enhance the productivity in the industry. How this tool helps an organization? The tool provides the knowledge in terms of method that is taken into care by the employees for the production of the goods. If there is any loophole in the method, then the method can be corrected, and that is why the productivity will improve. Similarly, the time taken in the operation can be studied, and unnecessary timing as well as unnecessary operations can be reduced from the process in order to make it effective. Similarly, motion study also helps to provide the most undue or unnecessary movement of workers here and there in the plant, which can be reduced in order to optimize the resources and further productivity may improve. Similarly, there is an analysis related to the, the motion study, time study, work measurement, as well as method study. So we'll look all such techniques in detail through this presentation so that we can know about the techniques which can be used to optimize the production. Work study is the study of work of the workers in all aspects, as I told you, related to time, method, movement, in order to increase their productivity. If we define the work study by using a definition, the definition says work study is a term used to embrace the techniques of method study and work measurement, which are employed to ensure the best possible use of human and material resources in carrying out the specific activity. Another definition of work study is it's a systematic, objective, and critical examination of all the factors which govern or which affect the operational efficiency of any specified activity in order to effect the improvement. See, in any kind of when we talk about any kind of factor that is governing factor, responsible factor of the operational efficiency, then by the change in the factor, obviously the efficiency will change. And work study is a systematic and analytical study of work process and work method with the objectives of increasing efficiency and to reduce the overall cost of production. Next, we'll see the objectives of work study in a plant. When work study is applied on the plant, other than productivity, number of things can be optimized, number of resources can be optimized, as well as the performance can also be enhanced. So, in brief, we can see in the slide like the objective of work study may be the use to maximize the use of plant and equipment, the most effective use of human as a resource at workplace to provide more and improved physical means to motivate the workers, obviously by reducing the time taken into the activity, into the operation, into the process, the improvement in the method, existing techniques to produce the thing. If it improves, then obviously it will provide the clarity in the mind of worker, and it improve the productivity of the workers also. A next point in favor of objective can be quoted as the work study improves the basic process by research and development. Since method and change in method can only be applied within the plant after extensive research and development on that method, unless and until the existing method will not be researched properly, and the loopholes will not be comes out from the process, then one cannot think about to change the method or the process. The next point that can be quoted for the support of work study in the methods of operations, and also establishment provide a kind of establishment of standards for measuring the performance. Another objective of work study is to improve the organization's product planning as well as controlling. Through the work study, one can ensure that planning can be improved and production control will also be improved. And when we talk about the efficiency, the parameter of the output, they may be efficiency, effectiveness in terms of production of more and more volume, more and more unit with improved motion study. We'll discuss about the procedure of work study, how work study can be applied in a particular plant. Work study can be applied through a sequence of operations, sequence of stages. Like first stage provides, as it is written as, define the problem. Unless and until the problem will not be identified, like problem may be the existing method is very complex, the existing methods is having a kind of unnecessary operation in it, existing method is involves the undue movement of material as well as manpower within the shop floor. So the problem may be anyone. It is the it is on the research and development team or production manager itself that he should identify the problem which affect most or which affect the optimization of the process. Next, after defining the problem, one should use the proper technique, proper tools in order to record the existing method. Unless and until existing method, existing time taken in order to complete the operation will not be studied, then the relevant steps cannot be taken. Next is, after recording the facts using the suitable charting techniques or flow process, or the tools may be used as stopwatch or some other kind of tools and techniques can be used in order to record the work study, record the work that is carried out by the worker on the shop floor. Then the third step is to examine critically all the recorded facts associated with the problem. Next, after examine the facts and data that are collected earlier, next step is to develop the alternative method and decide that whether the previous one is better or the new one is. After developing the method, the next step is to measure the effectiveness of the new method by implementing it as a pilot project on the shop floor. For this, manager can establish the standard time using appropriate technique and install the methods on a particular pool of operation. Once the method is verified and it is proved by the method that the method is effective, then one can install the method on the shop floor and implement the changes accordingly. And in the last stage, the new method that is applied on the shop floor must be maintained so as to find out the relevant changes in the production process. So by this way, we can go through, we can change the method, time taken in the operation, as well as the movement, undue movement on the shop floor can be removed. Next is the benefits of productivity, benefits of improved productivity in terms of work study. And the first and foremost benefit provided by the work study is the improvement in productivity itself, as well as the operational efficiency also increases. And the performance of the resources, those who are involved during the production process, the manager can ensure that there is an optimization in terms of reduction in the cost of production as well as improvement in the plant layout. Better manpower planning can be ensured. Better capacity planning, capacity of the resources can be planned in a better way, and fair wages can be provided to the workers of the company organization. Better working conditions can be created after work study. One can ensure that material handling cost will be reduced after the work study because it's emphasized on the motion study, that is dealing with to find out the study to find out the undue movement, unnecessary movement in terms of material, manpower, resources within the plant, and that can be minimized. Next benefit of work study is it provides a standard of performance to measure labor efficiency, and also it helps for to make better industrial relationship, and employees will be motivated enough after implementation of the work study on the shop floor. And on the basis of the suitable incentive schemes, the management can provide job satisfaction to the employee up to a certain extent by providing them better working condition, by through simplify the production process, and by reducing the cycle time. Next, we'll see there are various types of studies that are conducted under the work study. When we talk about work study, it's a broad term. When we just divide the work study into some small elements, the elements may be work study is the study of the methods, in which method, yeah, by using which method the worker are working in the organizations, and how much time is taken by the worker to complete an operation. That time can be worked out, and by these two ways one can improve the productivity of the organization. Here we can see in this slide the two distinct methods are used in order to implement the work study on the plant. First one is method study and second is work measurement. As the name suggests itself, method study, in order to change the method, in order to improve the method, it's a study takes place by the executives on the shop floor in which they have to select a particular task or method in which the improvements can be seen or improvement is required. If the method is complex enough, if the method is not worthy, if the method produces undue or unexpected kind of output that is not desired, then the method can be specified first. It should be taken by the consideration of the management. Then the recording takes place about the method or the steps taken in the method. Next step is to examine those facts and develop the new method, install that method on the shop floor as a pilot project, and after successful implementation of the new method, the methods should be maintained on the shop floor. And if further any improvement is required or any improvement can be done, then such can be implemented again. Next is work measurement. Work measurement is also a technique that is used to study about the time movement of workers on the shop floor in order to produce the goods. In this particular study, under this study, one should go through the task that is studied, that is to be studied, and one should take an appropriate tool that may be in order to measure the time, that may be stopwatch or any other type of technique, check sheets or and all, in order to record the facts like the time taken in the operations, the new movement of the workers, the sequence of the operations. Such kind of facts can be collected as well as analyzed. After analyzing those facts, one should take the appropriate measure and correct the time by comparing it with standard time. And after comparing it the standard time, one can ensure or one can fix the new timings for the cycle, for the operational cycle in which the method or work has to be completed. And after successfully implementing the time cycle, the cycle time on the shop floor, the related method can be used under the method study, and it can be provided the data. It can the executives who are working on work measurement, they will share the data with the method study team, and overall productivity can be improved. So in this slide, you can see the method study is discussed. As method study is defined by British Standard Institutions BSI, as method study is a systematic recording and critical examination of existing and proposed way of doing work as a means of developing and applying easier and more effective methods and reduced cost. The objective of method study is to eliminate unnecessary and inefficient motion and to remove the repeating of efforts. The aim of works method study is to eliminate unnecessary fatigue that is faced by the worker and thereby affect the economy in the human effort. One of the objective of method study is to improve the design and plant layout and to standardize the work process, working conditions, and tool or equipments that are being used for the production process. Work method studies also emphasize to maximize the utilization of resources that may be manpower, material, machinery, or other facilities used in the shop floor. Next, you'll see the different techniques can be used in order to study about the method used presently or currently on the shop floor. Those techniques are process chart, flow chart, string diagram, and travel chart. All these charts and diagrams provide a pictorial representation through which one can easily understand about the idea how the flow of material, flow of manpower, flow of tools, flow of equipments takes place in a particular area, in a particular zone within the plant, and also the process can be studied. The number of stages during the production can be studied, can be taken into consideration, and by doing so there are a number of advantages that can be attained by using the method study. That is, the work can be simplified if the complex stages, the complex structure is understood by the management properly, then it will help to reduce the complexity of the production process. And by study through the process chart, flow chart, string diagram, and travel chart, one can improve the working conditions in the plant itself, working methods while producing the product, and also one can work on the quality of the product. If the process will be simplified, then only the process will be standardized. All these things are connected, interconnected, like simplification, standardization, and specialization. Unless and until work process will not be simple, it cannot be standardized. And with the standardization, the worker will specialize in their work and they will produce qualitative product. And this is another benefit of implementation of method study on the shop floor, that one can improve the product layout as well as plant layout in the organization. And to improve the equipment design, work study, method study play an important role. Through this study, better working conditions or better environment can be produced, and better material handling systems, material handling tools, and lesser material handling cost can be ensured on the shop floor. Overall, we can see that our objective, that is to utilize the resources in optimum manner, in optimum way, can be ensured by using the method study. Next, we'll see about the work measurement. It's another technique that can be used to study the time taken in the operation and to standardize the process so as to improve the productivity, overall productivity. Work measurement can be defined as the application of techniques designed to establish the work content of the specified task by determining the time required for carrying out the task at a defined standard of performance by a qualified worker. Work content is nothing but the the the, the total time taken in order to complete a particular work. It contains the basic work as well as basic time, or the minimum time that is required to complete an operation, along with some kind of allowances that are provided to the worker as the necessary part of the uh, these as a resource, like relaxation allowance and spatial allowances, etc. The objective of work measurement may be to improve the planning and to control the activities within an operation. Another objective of work measurement is to induce or to generate the innovative as well as reliable ideas to improve the workers' performance. Another objective may be taken into consideration to provide or to make the reliable basis for workers' cost control. The methods must be developed in such a manner that should be implemented by the workers on the shop floor and in an effective manner as well as in a simplified manner so that worker can understand the impact of controlling the cost on the shop floor as well as cost of resources on the shop floor as well as the works measurement also provide a basis for suitable incentive scheme. When the productivity on the shop floor will increase, net production will increase, then work and the organization can ensure the incentives as well as perks benefits to their employees. There are a number of techniques that can be used to measure the work on the shop floor, namely as time study, synthesis method, analytical estimation, predetermined motion time system, and work sampling or activity sampling, or we can also name it as ratio delay method. We will see time study as well as motion study as the techniques of work measurement in the subsequent slide. Here in this slide we can see there are a number of advantages that can be associated with the work measurement as it is a means to develop a basis for comparing alternative methods developed in method study by establishing the work content for each method that is implemented on the shop floor. It is helpful to provide a logical work schedule by accurate assessment of human work. It also provide the it also set the standards of performance for utilizing the labor by establishing the labor standard for a part of work, operation, or product under ordinary working conditions. It also helps to compare the actual time taken by the worker uh, in order to in order to complete the task and compare it with the standard time for effective control of the labor. Work measurement provide a kind of assistance to estimate the cost and also provide an information related to estimation of tenders, fixation of selling price, and assessment of delivery schedule. Next, we'll see one of the technique of work measurement is time study. As the name suggests itself, is the study of time for recording the rate of working recording of time, rate of working for the element of a specified job carried out under specified conditions and analyzing the data so as to obtain time necessary for carrying out the job at a defined level of performance. There are a number of objectives to carry this study as to set the labor standard for satisfactory performance, to compare the alternative methods in method study in order to select the best method. One of the objectives is to determine the standard cost related to the work. Another objective may be to determine the equipment and labor requirement and to determine the normal time carried out in order to complete the operation, to set the completion schedule for individual operation of job, to determine the cycle time for completion of the job, and to balance the work of operator on the production or assembly line, as well to provide a basis for setting incentive wages. Ultimately, all these objectives are point out towards the technique. Basic technique is to study the time taken in all the operations and reducing the total cycle time. By reducing this total cycle time only, one can improve the the method, the one can reduce the complexity within the operation. There are a number of uses of time study, like it provide help to management for manpower planning. It also helps the management to arrive at cost standard and to set per unit cost for the output, that is selling prices for the various jobs, and to determine the work content and thereby setting the wages, incentives, as well as to provide a kind of relaxation if the relaxation is required to improve, then the allowances may be provided in terms of relaxation. Next is it provide a help in the method study by set the appropriate sequence of work by an operator and the machine or that of a group of worker. It helps the organization to compare the cost of various other methods, and it highlight time more consuming element. Time, as the name suggests itself, it's a time study, and so it usually emphasize on the time taken in order to complete the operation. Another use of time study, it helps in the product design by supplying it to the supplier. To the time study procedure. Next topic is time study procedure. Here we can see a sequence of operations are carried out in order to study the or implement the time study on the shop floor. If we want to reduce the time, then first we have to select the job which is concerning, or uh, which takes more and more time. Then you have to select the worker that one should consider an effective worker, efficient worker, and then a kind of demonstration should be takes place on the shop floor by breaking the jobs into elements. Each and every activity should be break properly, and the time should be noted for each and every element. After calculating the time, one should take the average time and rate the performance of the worker as compared to the standard rating, and calculate the normal time or basic time in order to complete the operation. It can be calculated by using the formula, that is observed multiplication of observed time with the rating factor. And rating factor is the factor that provides the knowledge to the management about if whether the worker is doing their work with normal rate, faster pace, or slow pace. For this, rating factor can be calculated by using the observed rating of the workers and compare it with the standard rating. Standard rating is nothing but the term that provides, that is used as a standard time, standard basis point. It can be taken 100 or some other number can be used in order to rate the worker's performance. And last but not least, the allowances are also required since we all are human beings, and so we need to fulfill our requirements that may be body related, situation related. So on the workplace, some kind of relaxations are provided as an allowances. Those allowances are relaxation allowance, process allowance, as well as spatial allowance. When we talk about relaxation allowance, it is required for a human being to take meal during the work or during an 8 hour of working shift. Process allowance are the allowances or the time frame that is including the changeover time, changeover in material, changeover in terms of tools, accessories, as well as spatial allowances that are situation based and arises not so frequently. Next, we'll see motion study. Motion study or movement study is the formal engineering analysis of motion that is performed by the worker during the accomplishment of the work. Motion study is the formal engineering analysis of the motion performed to accomplish work with the intent to eliminate waste movement and ill-treated inefficient movement on the shop floor. The objective of motion study is to eliminate the undue movement, to simplify the complex motion, to increase the efficiency, to improve the order of necessary motion, and to change the sequence of activities if required, to improve the material handling process, as well as to improve the process, to make sure that process must be safe enough, and to standardize the optimum procedure and working condition of the shop floor. Basic procedure that can be carried out to study the movement is first to select the job and collect the relevant data or facts about the job. Next step is to examine the recorded facts carefully in order to find out the undue movement and undue material handling on the plant. Then management has to take the decision about to develop the latest or improved motion study and improved method. Then selected method can be implemented on the shop floor as a pilot project and install the changes accordingly. Then last but not least, a proper training must be provided to the operators so that they will be aware to implement it on the shop floor. There are a number of types of techniques that can be used for motion study as thermalic as well as micro motion study. When we talk about thermalic analysis, Thermig was suggested by Gilbert. They provided 17 type of motion on the shop floor, and each motion is called thermalic and represented by different color with a word or two and record the same. These are used to describe the basic elements of movement, that it is hand movement, workers movement on the shop floor. Another point can be considered for the thermalic analysis is the proper arrangement of tools and equipments on the shop floor as well as the working conditions. If the illumination is better, then obviously the worker will get improved working condition and their productivity will improve. Each and every single operation can consist many thermalic. Next type of study that can be considered under the motion study is micro motion study, that can be defined as the study of fundamental elements of an operation, and it is carried out with the help of a high-speed movie camera in order to eliminate the unnecessary movement involved in the operation and balancing the necessary movement. These elements are expressed in unit of TMU, where 1 TMU is equivalent to 0.0006 minute. See students, how high quality movie camera is used to study the micro motion of the worker. These motion elements were classified into work elements that are known as fundamental motions or thermalic. And to study about the thermalic, one can ensure that here and there movement or undue movement takes place on the shop floor, and that can be reduced up to that extent. That's all for now in this presentation. Students, thank you for your kind attention.